when you're moving from place to place, place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Back to the Tobago Updates morning show. The discussions on Carnival 2023 continues on. Here to chat with us and give us his perspective, we got Mr. Atiba DeLeon, and he's going to chat with us again on 2023 Carnival. What's been happening now, Mr. DeLeon? Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning, thanks for having me.
Now, Faris Alwari says C, agreed C for Trinidad Carnival, the mother of all carnivals. Mr. Ashwood Jack, who was our previous guest, indicated a minus C for Trinidad and an F for Tobago. Your thoughts, Mr. DeLeon? How would you grade, how would you rate this year, 2023, the mother of all carnivals?
For Tobago?
Let's get you, we'd like to get both perspectives, Trinidad and Tobago. Based on what you've seen.
Right, based on what I've seen, Trinidad looks pretty good. It looks pretty cool. It looks like, I will agree, like a B. It wasn't I saw a lot of masqueraders and onlookers complaining about certain turnouts, certain services of this sort. However, for Tobago, I will say it was a poor showing, in the sense of at some point in time we had to realize that change have to come and change needs to be done, because we're doing something over and over and expecting a different result, right? That is insanity. And Tobago Carnival has been dead or dying, and this year was actually the worst I've seen.
Is it dead? Is it dying? Because dying says there's hope.
I want to say dead for February, and reason being, there are countries like Jamaica, countries like even Miami that have places that keep on like Miami, St. Lucia, Barbados. They have a bigger partying and masquerading capital than Tobago, and they realize that they can't compete with Trinidad. So why is Tobago even trying to host an event around the same time? Now, from what I've seen looking this carnival in Tobago, was I realized that every aspect of the carnival, from mud mass to juve to night mass, the predominant bands that had okay numbers was loaded with kids, right? So why aren't we focusing this time of the year? If we want to do something, let's make it a hub for kids carnival. Let's do a whole build out. Let's build a kiddies juve. Let's do a Monday for kids, Tuesday for kids. Forget trying to do the same model that Trinidad has. Because biggest part of Carnival, what makes Carnival successful is numbers. You need numbers. If you don't have numbers, it's a horrible showing. And the adults aspect of Carnival, let that be focused in October, right? Let's erase that totally from February. Let's focus on kids. Then there are some special need kids. How do we build out something that incorporates them as well?
Right.
That they can be creative, that they can make their own costumes. They can think, how can we make it February to be one of, we could have mud mass for kids, we could have juvenile, it's now a learning factor.
Now, I'm glad that you mentioned mud mass, because we're hearing the talk on the ground that mud mass this year seemed to have been the highlight. What would you say to that?
Yes and no. Mud mass has always been the highlight of Tobago Carnival. However, the quality, I am a big fan of that. I don't like that part of, I saw a mud band came down both days, Monday, Tuesday, and it had more people without mud than with mud on them. So that begs is one out of two questions. Is it that they're not getting the quality of mud that they paid for, or is that they are not paying and they are storming the bands?
Okay.
So with that being said, we have to look at it from a different aspect, that how do we get these things, and for me, I'm just looking at it from an educational standpoint, that we can get mass into the schools, the primary schools that is. How can we get them more involved from a historical standpoint, and also a traditional standpoint, understanding what everything is.
All right. Juve, your thoughts on this year's Juve? Scarborough, Roxborough, Crown Point.
Horrible. Horrible show.
Which of the three venues, which of the three locations would you say was the best amongst them?
Crown Point had the most persons, and most of these persons came on late. Scarborough normal is dead, and I am thinking that if you are keeping any carnival, this is my ply to anybody who is in power, anybody who's in, from an administrative standpoint, even October Carnival. Your highlight of any carnival is in the capital, right? That is one thing you could look at. Jamaica, look at St. Lucia, look at Trinidad. Port of Spain is always at the forefront. Now, there are other carnival elsewhere, as in South and Arima, but however, Port of Spain is always at the forefront. Your capital have to look good, and it hurts to see that when you come to Scarborough, you could see tumbleweed blowing at some of the instances because it's that bad. And it's like one person in a band, two persons in a band. I mean, come on. At what point in time do we say enough is enough and we can't appease everybody? As much as we want to go up in the east, we want to go down in the west, we want to keep everybody happy. The reality is, the highlight of any carnival throughout the world, your capital is on main stage.
So what would be your recommendation as it relates to Juve for February?
For February, I will say again, focus solely, primarily, honestly, and just overwhelmingly on kids. Let's have a kiddies Juve. Let's do a kiddies mud mass. Let's do kiddies Monday and Tuesday. Forget kiddies on Saturday and Sunday. Let's just do from Juve, from the Sunday night into the Monday, go back to Tuesday. Let's focus on kids. Let's involve the special needs kids. Let's see how best we can build out something like that. And then for Carnival, how about us focusing on camps? You know, because it's a destination for a person from Trinidad to come to Tobago to me have church camps. You know?
Go ahead, Mr. Dillion. Go ahead.
We can't do the same thing and expect the same result. We do not have the numbers. And if the persons who are diehard masqueraders from Tobago, if you go on social media now, you will see every single one of them in Trinidad. So what does that say? That let us focus for adults, let us focus on our carnival product. And the investment that we are making from a monetary standpoint into February, let's shift that to October. You know, right. I was fortunate to visit our church camp at Roxborough Composite. And it was nice to see the stuff that they had planned out. They went hiking, the different stuff. So how about us marketing the carnival period as probably a camping...
that's in February.
In February, as a camping destination to come to Tobago.
I want you to hear what some of our viewers on the live are saying. Mr. Donnie Vincent says... Donnie Vincent said, each school can make a king and queen costume to represent as kiddies' costume for Kids Carnival. Phillips Kate says, persons don't want to be muddy, but go along with the mud anyway. And I think that is the contribution to what you said initially, where there were more persons without mud than with mud. So they want to be a part of it, but they don't want the mud. I'm not sure if that's the best band to be in, but Phillips Kate also says mud mass was free and still they did not put it on. I'm not sure what's, But you still didn't give us as well. You still didn't give us a grade for Tobago.
Tobago, I'll give Tobago.
F being the lowest.
I'll give it an F. And that because we are putting our eggs in the wrong basket, right? And I think from a political standpoint, we had to stop learning to please everybody and do what is best. Everybody may not see the vision now, right? Because it's your vision. And if you have a vision, everybody may not see it now, but in the long run and hindsight, looking back, you know, they will say things come like, from a political standpoint, you hear people will say, the best chief secretary ever had is Hot Roy Charles. But when he was chief secretary, everybody bashed him. And then after a while, they saw some of the visions.
Now they have more to compare with.
Right. So it's the same thing. So like in 1999, when Mr. Charles wanted to export water from Tobago, people laugh at him, right? But now the bottled water is one of the multi-billion industry in the world. And it's the same thing. We have to develop a product that is geared and unique to Tobago, right? That allows people to come to Tobago, whether it be from a camping standpoint, whether we're looking, as Mr. Vincent would have stated, whether we go to the primary schools and have they create their own mass and get the kids more involved, because we are building capacity. And you cannot start a foundation from the roof. So the older persons who play mass in February, that so adamant about Carnival being in February, we cannot build a future or a foundation from them. We have to start with the grass and we have to start with the kids.
Okay. One of our other viewers, Julia Brown, says Carnival in Tobago has changed because of the peace, because of the pizza mass, because of the pizza mass, day and peace a mass here. Okay, the pizza mass here and there. Okay, got that. Carnival was Roxborough Monday, and all roads leads to Scarborough on Tuesday. Best mass. I guess Alicia Samuel says Mud Mass was way better in the 80s.
Yeah, but unfortunately, in 2023. So we
Can't go back there.
Yeah, and a lot of us, we do that oftentimes, especially senior persons, no knock on them. You're reliving the moment. But a lot of times, we always go back on what it used to be. But we have to be real in what it is now. And what it is now, how do we get it to a place to where it is acceptable, to where it is a great product, to where it is that persons are keen and eager to come to Tobago? How do we get to that point? And we have to come up with solutions. And it may not be the same thing that worked in 1980, may not work now.
Right. Now, you said February Carnival for the children and particularly the special needs children. Yeah. Rodney Pigott says, for February Carnival, we should focus solely on steel bands. Let's have a steel band explosion.
I agree that as well. Now, all those could be things that you could add to it, but all I'm just stating is that we have
not the
traditional format that Trinidad follows. We have to come up with a format that works for Tobago as it relates to whether it be kids, whether it be steel pan, whether it be calypso, whether it be church camps.
Your one piece of advice for the Festivals Commission?
For the Festivals Commission is that we have persons that, when we come to making these decisions and execution, we need persons that are capable, are open-minded, and not biased to one group, one organization, one style of doing things, and we have to be very innovative on what we do. As it relates to Tobago, Tobago is a unique place, right? Tobago is one of the most unique places in the world. Tobagonians will tell you, all right, we come in and play with you, and by the time your band reach on the road, it's you alone, right? That is the reality of it. And it's not, and we have to be mindful of that. So with that being said, we have to come up with something that works for Tobago and not the same module that works for National Carnival as in Trinidad. Because Trinidad have a different culture. I always say this. A Tobagonian will take a loan to keep harvest. They will not take a loan to go and play mass. A Trinidadian will do that. And we have to understand that what works for us.
That's where the focus is.
We have to focus on our culture and what works for us. So to the people at Festivals Commission, I think that we just need persons, and we need square pegs in square holes, right? And we need persons that are capable and understand the paradigm of how this actually works. And a lot of people know about mass in terms of creating, but we need people to understand the business of Carnival. And we have to stop doing things to appease rather than doing things that makes economical sense, things that makes logical sense.
I think we can end it right there, Mr. DeLeon. Thank you. Thank you so much for being on the program with us and for sharing your perspective. So I guess it was a miss, not a hit.
A big miss. It was a big miss. And it's so unfortunate that this is where it's at, but the best thing is to acknowledge where we went wrong and we can move forward from there. I am a Tobagonian by nature, by birth, by culture, by my
by
love.
Birth or boat?
By birth, birth and heritage and everything. But at the end of the day, we have to be real with what we have to do, and we acknowledge that we miss, and let me go back to the drawing board and let me see if we can get it right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us this morning. Viewers, I tell you, the Carnival hit or miss discussions continue on into next week because we want to get the perspectives. We want to be able to do better, be better, do better, even as we focus on October Carnival that's coming up in the next few months. I say few months because the months are rolling by quickly. But at this time, Just as we take a break, we're going to be heading over to chatting with Mr. Mikel Lewis, who was the first place for the interdepartment competition, personality competition. He's going to be chatting with us just after the break. So viewers, share the live, share the live, share the live.